What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. I know I made a video earlier today. It was like 5 minutes long, and I was talking about this rejection on my Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen this. You know, I'm at Chris Harris 85. That's me, BT Chris, BTCHRIS. And I was talking about how if the stay closed red, we had a rejection off of this. This would be a bearish setup for BCH, and we did in fact get that red daily close. We did reject this overbought zone, or slash are rejecting it, and we had the lower close on the daily too. Not only that, but this day already, about almost 4.25 hours in, you went and engulfed the previous day's price action, and then now you're below today's opening price already. So you went up and you're back down. It's not a good start to the day. I would say that that's really not a good look to the day. And it's just more of what I've been saying, man. I think that we are going to go lower, which again, I've been saying that we were going to go lower from here. So like I'm not trying to toot my horn and be like, haha, I was right, you know, and I might be right, whatever, but it's not proven yet, but I think this close here, I really think this was important. I'm starting to get a little bit more I was already pretty convinced that it would go down, but the charts are verifying that as well now. So, John Foster, I think it's John, not Josh. I think it's John Foster. You were asking if like where I thought we were gonna go, like how low we were gonna go with this daily close and everything, what that means for the retracement consolidation range. There's been one time in Bitcoin Cash's history. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, you should, man. It's a 30-minute video. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but if you watch like the second half where I start measuring a bunch of stuff, if you do TA yourself, man, you can pull up the fib. Sounds like you have a little terminology, so you might know how to do it on your own, but just it's simple anyways, you know. But just pull up the fib and go back on any move in Bitcoin Cash's history, or you can watch my video and watch like the last half of it. I go through and I literally measure a bunch of different moves. It gives back its price all the way down to the 0.5 most of the time, if not further. And there were a couple times where it gave it up just above the 0.5, and this is where I've been saying the 182. This like past week, I've been thinking 182 would be the minimum expectation, if not lower. But there was one time that it did bounce off the 382. But the one time that happened, it from top to bottom moved down 63 or 64%. From top to bottom here, we're at about little bit over half that. You know, it's not the same kind of thing, and I would expect that we go lower. Just once did we bounce off the 382, and I forget where that was. Again, if you watch the video, you'll probably see that part, but every other time, man, the lowest or the highest retracement that we had was slightly above the 0.5, and I would say I feel very comfortable saying the 180 area is somewhere that we could go, and I want to keep that kind of in mind. And on the weekly here, by the way, guys, this thing could go lower. It could go to the 886. It could. I don't think it's going to. I really don't think it's going to. I'd be surprised if it did. I'm not expecting prices to go below like much past 135, but I'd be very surprised if we went below 120. But it's not like Bitcoin Cash hasn't made a low, gone on a stupendous rally, and then given it all back and formed a lower low, and then boom, that's the start of its bull run. You know, like it's not like it hasn't done that before. So I'm just saying, however low Bitcoin Cash goes, don't be scared. Look at it for what it is. It's a good buying opportunity. That's it. If you're in it already and you've thrown all your money in it and you make $100 a week, well, guess what? You get to throw $100 in it next week at a little bit lower prices. I'm just saying, it's not selling time when we get down here. If you want to sell, you should sell now, or you should have already sold. If you want to sell, you don't do it down here. If you want to buy, you do it down here. Previous areas of resistance. And I'm getting distracted. What I want to say is, if we take these tops here, from top to bottom here, we have a 43% move. We have a 44% move, and right here from top to bottom, like immediate bottom. Obviously, you know, it's not like the bottom here, and that's not the top there. But each of these little moves, they're 43%, 44%, 43%. They're within like a 0.5% difference from each other. And if we were to take that fib and draw it back on here, bottom to top, I'm looking for the 0.5 level, right? Top to around the 0.5, around 43, 44%. Well, that's right at 185. That's just above. I was saying 180. That's literally right around there. Could we do that? It's possible. It's totally possible. And something like that, you know, what it sets Bitcoin Cash up for is really what you'd be doing is maybe wicking below the 382 and then coming up and finding support on it and closing above it. Or maybe you close below it, but then the next day you come up and you close above it. You know, if we saw something like that, I would probably forego my prices down here, and I would probably buy here. I wouldn't catch the bottom by any means, but I would catch prices around 200, definitely about $50 or more lower than what we are now. Again, why I'm not buying, but I wouldn't prefer to buy here. Of course, I'd prefer to buy lower, but either way, you know, from what we've seen in Bitcoin Cash's history before, this is a possible expectation. Now, this move in comparison to these moves is totally different. All of these moves happened after, I mean, I guess, okay, let's be fair. All these moves happened after we were kind of in this sideways range and we broke out of it. Well, we were in this sideways range and we broke out of it. But these moves were a lot smaller. This move was dramatically bigger. We were above the purple line here. We were below it here. This was the end of the bull market here. This is the start of it here. You know, so you got these bigger retracements at the start of the bull market. You got the smaller ones at the end of it. So I would expect that we're going to see a bigger retracement than 43% probably. And again, we could see a lower low. And it's not the end of the world for Bitcoin Cash. No, sir. It's done this before, and it doesn't care. It will go up from there. I don't expect that. I really don't expect this. This would shock me. But just be aware, it's happened before. And here, right, really dramatic move up, but not before it had a very dramatic retracement, you know? Here, dramatic move up, very dramatic retracement. Don't get surprised by this. You know, it's not really surprising, guys. It is very normal for Bitcoin Cash to do. It doesn't have to do it, though. It really doesn't have to do it. And if you want to prove, if Bitcoin Cash wanted to prove this whole theory wrong, that it goes lower, you'd want to get into the overbought zone. You'd probably want to get into the overbought zone. At the minimum, probably hold the 50 area. But again, man, I think it's going lower. I definitely think it's going lower. I don't know. This looks so far is not a good look. Looking at the 4 hour, instead of just talking about it, let's actually do some TA here. Again, yesterday you had this kind of neutral look. You were around the 50, not really choosing a side, but you chose a side. It was to the downside. On the 4 hour, you had this range. You broke out of it. You came back up. You tested the point where you broke out and you rejected it. Not a good look, man. Really not a good look. So on the 4 hour, bearish, I would say, at least to the purple line. Because you are above the 50 here, which is good for price to be above the purple line, but that's down at 224. We're at 271 right now. So even at a like an optimistic approach, you're still pretty far away from where I think the low of this thing would be. And if we were to draw a line, I hate horizontal lines, man. I really do. Or not horizontal. I'm sorry, diagonal lines. I love horizontal lines. I don't like diagonal lines. Vertical lines even are fine. But anyways. You know, this is kind of an area where we might bottom to. I think we might find a bounce on this area, but ultimately break this line because nobody cares about your vertical line or your diagonal lines. The reason why, I'm going to go on a little tangent here. The reason why I don't like diagonal lines is because these lines don't like there's not a whole lot of time off of them, right? There's no time at all. The reason I like horizontal lines, if we were to draw a horizontal line, like here at this 4 hour close, we can go back all the way through Bitcoin Cash's history, right? And I guess it was in a pretty flat range here, but you know, you can go back here and you've got areas where it may or may not have found resistance, right? Resistance here, support here, kind of. And this line isn't much to go off of, really, but that you get what I'm trying to say. It's a line that lasts, like it literally goes through the whole history, where this diagonal line, once you break through it or time moves on, you're going to forget all about it anyways. So the only diagonal lines that I guess I would pay attention to ever personally that I like, which I don't even like diagonal lines, would be more macro lines on the monthlies and on the weeklies. You know, these shorter term ones, they really don't matter that much. It would be, in my opinion, as a trader, as an investor, it's much more significant to pay attention to horizontal key levels of support, you know, and resistance, right? We rejected, or maybe not rejected, but this month closed, ironically, or not ironically, coincidentally, at the same area that this month closed and opened, right? And that we bottomed on a wicking basis here, and that we closed over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's much more helpful to do that than it would be to draw a diagonal line from top to top here and be like, well, you know, eventually we're going to hit that, you know, and like just like keep holding your breath till we get there, you know, or even if you wanted to tighten it up, top to top, I don't know, top to top there, I don't know, maybe it'd be this one, bottom, I can't, man, let's see. I'm getting distracted, I'm sorry guys, we'll get back to the main point. I don't know, this could be a key area at some point, it really could actually, but what I'm trying to say is I am bearish on Bitcoin Cash. The reason I'm bearish on Bitcoin Cash is because we have this rejection off of the overbought area. We have a lower daily close, right, on the price action itself. The day so far looks pretty bearish. And yeah, that's just, you know, we've had a nice run up. It's totally normal for Bitcoin Cash to give some of it back. That's just how it goes. I've played this game before with it, man. I've bought the highs before. I know how that is, and it's no fun. So I'm not doing it this time. I'm not going to do it this time personally. I am going to wait. If it goes higher without me, it's going to go without me because I am not buying here. I do think that we go lower again to the tune of anywhere below $200, more likely in my opinion around $180 to $135. If you like the video, if you like the ramble, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. And I will see you guys on the next one. John Frost? I'm sorry, man. I forget your last name. I think it's Foster. John Foster. I hope that answers your questions, man. I hope I gave somewhat of like good information there. If not, just leave me a comment, man. We can talk more. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.